कालकालाय विद्महे कालातीताय धीमहि तन्नो कालभैरव प्रचोदयात्। ओम हिंगुळे परम हिंगुळे अमृतरूपिणी तनुशक्तिमनशिवे श्री हिंगुळाय नमः। Namaskaram. Welcome to yet another video where today we will try to know about Bhairava, a one step closer as whatever we know him a minute before. In this particular episode, we are going to talk about one of a very rarely formed Swarupa of our Ishtartha Guru Bhairava. This storyline actually starts with a king called as Virra. He was being called as a Virendra at that time, long ago. There he lived in a and was being blessed to be in such a kind of a situation. His name was known for across all the lands. He was like a king. A kingdom was so rich, the people were so happy. His army was so powerful that actually everyone used to talk about, and wherever he used to step in, he used to get victory of that particular place. Every war he sought, he used to win it. That was actually the glory what he used to carry it. And neighboring rulers feared him, thinking that actually the saint praised him, and also his ministers believed that no one can defeat the Virendra, the king Virendra. This was his glory. Even he slowly started believing the same, that actually he is supreme. You know that actually that's what actually happened when it comes to the tendency of the human, whatever we have it. The Virendra actually had in such a situation, even he slowly started believing that he is the Chakravarti of all the countries, and he used to think that actually he is become a supreme. A victory after victory made him confident in such a way that he became very, very proud of it. Careless, but life changed quietly, as what every situation has always taught to him. Or the life is, you know that a life is always about the changing. This is what actually even happened to Virendra, the king Virendra. The fall begins. One day he lost one small battle, which was actually fought headed by one female. She was the first female who made him to realize that what exactly the taste of the loss is all about. He thought actually he ignored it. After a couple of months, he again went to one more battle, another defeat. And his own people betrayed from his own people, and he started actually feeling that their own people actually are making this sort of activities which is making him to lose it. And even the disease in the place started, the drought started, the enemy started attacking from all the sides. Strangely, the same king who once never lost now could not even win a single fight which he was supposed to. He had done all kind of puja vidhana, but he was not able to get out of the situation. His mind became restless. He was like having a sleepless nights. He was thinking one thing, that why is everything leaving me? He started even not knowing what exactly need to be done. He was actually asked to go and meet his Kulaguru. Finally, he went to his Kulaguru, and the Kulaguru, actually the royal lineage, Guru Paramatma, he was able to tell him what exactly that problem was. The old Guru looked at his calm and he said, "You have not lost strength. You have only lost the skills. You have lost the divine protection." The king was a bit confused. What exactly is the skill, what is a divine connection. He was able to tell one that I worshipped Vishnu, I worshipped Shiva, I perform yajna. What protection is missing? King was clearly able to tell, I have been doing this aradhana of all the devatas. Why exactly I am losing it? Kulaguru replied very clearly that one guardian who our ancestors never forget, but you did it. He clearly mentioned how exactly entire his lineage of ancestor used to perform one particular aradhana of the deva, which was very very essential, which this guy had forgotten. That's where actually he diverted him to go and meet one one particular puja he was supposed to perform, and it was in a cremation ground. And at the cremation ground, even king thought that why exactly I need to go to the cremation ground. And Kulaguru was able to tell him that this particular puja vidhana need to be performed by the Aghora, and that Aghora priest is going to come and meet you only when he is ready to come and meet you. Only he can show you the path. The king went to the cremation ground, waited for him for the couple of days. Finally, the Aghori Guru was able to reach, and he was able to perform the puja vidhana. King was waiting for him, and finally King went and fell on the feet of the Aghora, and Aghori was able to tell him and tell him about why exactly all these things was happened. He started his storyline telling a very beautiful narration about the guardian of the fortune, the tantra of the protection is being holded by one particular prosperity of the god. It is not about the Narayana, it is not about the Mahadeva, it is not about the Lakshmi. This particular storyline he was able to share it from the Lakṣmī Tantra. There is a truth in the scriptures where rarely it is being spoken out. This is what actually the Aghora was able to tell to the king. Wealth does not live because Lakshmi is absent. Wealth lives because no one trying to guarded her. You know that actually people pray, people do a lot of hard work, people strive endlessly to achieve something they want to achieve it, but yet money slips away. Yet success collapse at the last minute when they feel that actually they were trying to achieve it something in their life, and opportunity appears, and as it appears immediately it gets disappeared. The Aghori was able to clearly explain, if Lakshmi is a giver, who protects what she gives? This is where actually we need to know the question and the hidden inside the heart of the Tantra. In the Lakshmi Tantra, it is very beautifully being shared. Gave birth to one particular mysterious avatara, the powerful manifestation of a deity, one particular Swarupa was Nārāyaṇa Bhairava. You will be wondering, these are two different forms. How exactly they were able to speak in the Lakshmi Tantra? In Lakshmi Tantra, there is a very beautiful articulation how Narayana will be able to hold it, and how Narayana was able to help to the Lakshmi about to holding the Siri in one's life. Here, even in Nārāyaṇa Tantra, there is a storyline which is connected to the Bhairava. Like when the prosperity fails, in the Lakshmi Tantra, as I told, does not describe the universe as an empty space. It clearly mentions that in the Lakshmi Tantra, the Ma Lakshmi is being showcased into a different aspects, like how exactly she is being called herself, or she is being tagged or named as a Siri. It describes extensively as a lotus. Lotus is what actually we call it as an awareness, as a prosperity. A living lotus actually connects to the different Swarupas of the Devi. Like each petals of the lotus is actually a different world. In the narration which has been shared in the Lakshmi Tantra, each veins of that particular lotus flower is actually a karma. each fragrance which is coming from each different lotus is actually the abundance, and each drop of that nectar is called actually what we call it as a fortune. And this particular, in this lotus, the center is seated where Kamala Lakshmi, Kamala Mahalakshmi, Kamala Atmika, the golden radiant mother, infinity compassionated, seated in the center of the lotus is what actually Mahalakshmi is seated. When Lakshmi Swarupa is being described in so beautiful way in the Lakṣmī Tantra, from her flows a stream of life actually is being shared, very beautifully being shared. And even the Ashtalakshmis are being shared into a different Swarupas. Here, people know Lakshmi when it comes as a Siri, but here we need to know very in a simple ways. When it comes to the Dhana Lakshmi, she is a wealth. Every one of us know because she is a giver. Dhanya Lakshmi, nourishment, the food. This also we know. Vijaya Lakshmi, about the victory of anything over everything. Gaja Lakshmi, a royal power, especially for the people who wants to see themselves to the next level. They do the Lakshmi Aradhana, especially to the Gaja Lakshmi, to make sure that actually their Aradhana is going to go to the next level. A real royal life is being achieved. Vidya Lakshmi, in knowledge. These 5 source of Lakshmi is what actually what we call it as a king is supposed to hold us. The wealth, the nourishment, the victory, the royal power and the knowledge. This 5 combination of the Lakshmi, in Ashtalakshmi, these 5 Lakshmi Swarupas are being considered as very, very powerful. She gives without any kind of a judgment, without any calculation, without any condition. Once all that Swarupa is activated, she will be able to bestow whatever it is. Yet something strange began occurring, and she was able to identify the very being she blessed could not be held by any of the grace. And this is what the secret which is written in the Nārāyaṇa Tantra. The king, even in it is clearly been mentioned that even king become a beggar. We have heard this in many of the scriptures as well as in many of the mythological stories, that many of the kings became the beggar. Even many of the millennials who are across us, they have become beggars. We have thousands of examples around us. Even like merchants went bankrupt. Thousands of cases around us we have it. Even till dated, even in Kali Yuga, this is happening. Home has been filled with debts and fears, and fortune roses in the morning and vanishes in the dusk. Especially even if you see, like many of the royal family who are being, or royal people who are being seen themselves as one of a fortunest people in the morning, even in the night they will be losing everything and anything. Here the Devas approached her and asked, Ma, why exactly this is happening, and why this blessings is not getting stayed for the continuously? And Ma was able to clearly explain. Ma smiled very gently and she was able to explain Siri, I will just flow, but the flow without a protection becomes a loss. This is what most of the human are losing it. Most of the humankind is losing it. See, it is somewhat like a water without a banks becomes a flood. We have witnessed it. A money without any kind of a protection becomes a poverty. We have witnessed it. A grace without a guardianship becomes a leakage. We have also witnessed this. And that is the reason her word shocked the entire universe, entire heavens, entire people, thinking that, Ma, we always pray you to be in our life, and you are only telling that actually without the protection you will not be staying with us. This was a alarming situation for everyone at that time, because prosperity was not failing, it was a protection which was missing. And that's where Here, when Ma Lakshmi was able to tell this, Narayana was able to come into a picture and he was able to decode this particular information. Why exactly this is happening? Narayana, when all the devatas tried to approach him and understand him, how exactly this particular situation we can come out of the situation, Narayana, Prabhu Narayana, the preserver of this entire cosmos, could not even ignore the suffering what has been shared by all the Rishi Munis and coming to him and telling about him what exactly need to happen in the life. This is where actually the real thing happened. Through the teachings of the Nārāyaṇa Tantra, he was able to clearly understand. Nārāyaṇa Tantra is all about decoding himself, entering into the meditation state, knowing his purest potential and making what exactly is needed for it. See, when it comes to the especially a deepest core form of the Nārāyaṇa Tantra, it gives us like a fundamental, like mantra is being a sound, yantra is being a form, and tantra being the method. Nārāyaṇa Tantra is about the connection between us, sustenance, protection, and preservation is what actually connected to the Nārāyaṇa Tantra. Narayana is not Vishnu sitting in a Vaikuntha. People think this like it in different Swarupa. He is a Tattva. Let me just very clearly define. People, when we call it as a Lakṣmī Narāyaṇa, Narayana means they think that actually he is a Vishnu who is sitting in a Vaikuntha. Not at all. He is a Tattva. Shiva being a Rudra, he is a Tattva. Similarly, his energies is like a sustaining life, protecting the destiny, maintaining the orders, removing any kind of a karmic obstacles, keeping the world much more stable and connected. This is what the secrets which are being written in the Nārāyaṇa Tantra. See, Narayana is being considered as a preserver or preservations we do. He, like, we gain things, but we cannot keep them in control. The keeping power is what actually is being decoded. This information is encoded in the Nārāyaṇa Tantra. Nārāyaṇa Tantra teaches very beautiful lines how exactly and where exactly we need to do. This is where Narayana was being approached asking, Prabhu, please help us in this particular situation. Narayana, he entered into a deep cosmic meditation. He did not look outside, but he went inside and see himself that what exactly the Ma Lakshmi was able to tell, that no one is trying to protect, she being the flow, how exactly this can be controlled. She was very clear, water without a banks become a flood, money without a protection become a poverty. On these inputs or in these lines, he was able to enter into a cosmic meditation. He looked into a destiny itself, directly to the destiny, thinking that what exactly is making to lose it. He saw a hidden thread of the fortune which is happening to the human life. He was able to understand what exactly is the root cause of what the problem is. It is about the karmic depths. It is about the unseen enemies around us. It is about the jealousy which is oneself is making to the fall of their life. Black intentions, thinking bad about someone, fear, weak willness, and even the scattered mind. Everything, anything, thinking that actually somebody is going to come and help. These forces will silently stealing the Lakshmi's blessing from the humanity. This is what Narayana was able to understand very clearly, what made Ma Lakshmi, once Śrī is there in someone's life, they are able to lose it. They are getting bankrupted. They are going to lose their name, fame, everything. Even till date it is happening. He realized something profound is happening in this, because preservation, or what we call it as a manifestation of the life, is missing. The preservation alone cannot protect the prosperity. Something fierce, fierce was needed. Something powerful was needed at that time. Something immediate. That's where the force that, like when it is a very fierce, when it's powerful, cut negativity instantly. That something which cuts negative instantly, guard sacred thresholds, destroying any kind of an obstacles in life, terrifying misfortune is happening in the life. Only one consciousness is created, carried such kind of an authority. He was able to know and he was able to understand. It is only one particular Swarupa of Mahadeva, Bhairava, which is going to help him. That's where actually the arrival of the Bhairava happened in the Nārāyaṇa Tantra. Here in what we call it as in Bhairava Tantra, this particular Swarupa is clearly been articulated. People whoever thinks that actually this Swarupa, where exactly it is written in Bhairava Tantra, in Nārāyaṇa Tantra, in Lakṣmī Tantra the connecting information is being shared. In Nārāyaṇa Tantra this information is clearly been articulated, and Bhairava Tantra it is clearly been articulated how exactly Śrī Ma Lakshmi was in such kind of a dilemma, how exactly Narayana was able to understand and decode the problem, how exactly Bhairava was able to come into a picture. This is where is called arrival of the Bhairava. From the blazing stillness of the Shiva, Narayana, there are two different stories. It has been said that actually Narayana was able to approach Mahadeva, Shiva, from the Shiva's awareness. Again, you know that whenever there is an awareness, the third eye is active, and when third eye is active, Bhairava is active. Not with angry. Here he did not come to chop off the Brahma's head, not to cure the situation, but to absolute protection. He came into this particular existence. Bhairava here guarded this sacred space. He standed with a lightning, like a light meeting the darkness, or we can call it as any kind of removing the darkness. That situation he was able to come. See, when it comes to the Bhairava, many of us talk about at the cremation ground, at the temple gates, or at the edge of the karma. We speak about this, but all this was part of his presence. Whenever Bhairava comes, this is where actually his presence has been felt. Nothing impure crossing where he stands. Wherever he stands, that's where the purity starts. Where Bhairava resides, fear automatically dies. Where Bhairava watches, negativity gets dissolved. We have read this, we know this when it comes to the Bhairava Upasana. As a Upasaka, as a Bhairava Sadhaka, we know all these things, we have read about this. But here, in the Bhairava Tantra, it is clearly been articulated, like where Bhairava resides, fear dies. Where Bhairava watches, negativity gets dissolves. In the Tantra, especially in the Narayan Tantra, this particular Swarupa was being disclosed. But when it comes to the Bhairava Tantra, it all combines to one particular form. This is called actually Tantra Union. It occurred, the cosmic event happened in such a way. Narayana was able to approach, Lakshmi was able to tell the problem statement, and problem statement was able to decode it by the Narayana, and the Narayana Mahaprabhu was able to get this information to the Mahadeva, and Mahadeva was able to connect his particular one Swarupa of Bhairava to make this particular problem into a solution. And this occurred, a rare cosmic event, unspoken anywhere in the Tantra, especially in the Bhairava Tantra. This has been spoken. Three supreme principles came in together. Three supreme energies got into combined. Lakshmi as a flow, Narayana as an order, what need to be done, Bhairava as a protection. Here, it is the combination of flow, stability and the defense. It is about the grace, dharma as well as a power came into an existence. These energies merge, like we can call it as like sun becoming like one particular source. From the this particular fusion of energy of three combination of the energies become one tattva. We can also call this as a Satvika, Tamasika and Rajasika, which combine together to become one particular source energy which never seen before. That is the reason when one self is diffusing or something negativity is happening in the life, we always try to understand your pulse, and that pulse is nothing but your own guna. Your guna is all about Satvika, Tamasika, Rajasika, or it's stable. This is where actually even the story is connected. This is where how exactly the birth, or we can call it as the Swarupa of the Bhairava, came into an existence. Nārāyaṇa Bhairava Swarupa came into an existence. When it comes to the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava Swarupa, it is very rarely been spoken about this particular Swarupa. And this Swarupa, the Aghori was able to disclose. You do a aradhana of his Swarupa. He can, the people, whoever prays to him, he is going to give me, if you are going to ask me the wealth, Lakshmi is going to give you. But who is going to protect? That going to be protected only by Bhairava. Because wealth is not only money. When it comes to the protection, we think that actually protection is not really needed. We can hire someone to the protection. No. This is where actually the divine protection is going to come into picture. This is what the information, or a known information which was being disclosed by the Aghori to the king, to the Virendra. He was able to tell, because of wealth is not only the money, it is about the energy. The protection is about the energy, protection is about the clarity, protection is about the courage, protection is about the intelligence, protection is about the opportunity, protection is about the karma which you need to understand. As a king, everyone are in the Virendra shoes. We need to understand, when we have a downfall in our life, always we will be in a trouble. Who is going to protect us? We have money, but money is coming and going away, but we are not able to protect it. And that protection can only be done by Bhairava Swarupa. And here, this is what actually the Aghori was able to tell. Without strength of the mind and the protection of the destiny, blessing also will be collapsed. So, Aghori was able to clearly tell the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava does not merely gives a richness. He transforms a life. He removes the karma. He destroys the hidden enemies. He ensures the stability of the income is being holding. The sharpness of the intelligence is active. He ensures that the building of the discipline is on your grounds. He grants something called no one provides. He grants a fearless action in sadhaka's life. Somewhat like actually when a vessel becomes stronger, prosperity stays naturally in that particular stage. That's where Bhairava guarded Lakshmi. In this particular Swarupa, or the decodation of the information was shared, Tantra wisdom explains very clearly and simple about why exactly Nārāyaṇa Bhairava came into an existence to protect it. Lakshmi being an energy, Bhairava is becoming an awareness here. They are energy without the awareness scattered. Awareness without the energy segments together sustain the abundance. This is what the sadhaka need to understand. He need to ensure that once the Bhairava Aradhana has been done, automatically his life will become much more prosperous. In the Nārāyaṇa Tantra, it is about protection of the life. It is about the protection of a misfortune. It is a removal of the hidden karmas. It is about a stabilizing health with wealth. Spiritual anchoring, what really need to be done. How exactly grace will come before any kind of a struggle coming into us. It is less aggressive but more protective. This is what actually was being taught in the Nārāyaṇa Tantra, connecting to the one particular Swarupa of the Bhairava, where exactly his particular Aradhana can be seen. Here, when it comes to the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava, the Aghori was able to tell very clearly how exactly his particular Swarupa is going to help the king to retain or regain his fortune as well as a prosperity. That's where he went back, made sure that actually he did the sadhana and the aradhana of the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava. He was able to get a divine protection from him, and from there he started to prosper his situation to the next level. See, when it comes to the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava, it is connected to the Tattva. It is not about the Swarupa again. Okay. Especially when it comes to the Kaula Tantra, Narayana is a preserving as well as a guarding of the life. And when it comes to this particular Swarupa, Nārāyaṇa Swarupa Tattva, here Kala Bhairava is being considered as a Nārāyaṇa Bhairava Swarupa. He being a Ugra, but also he helps in the protection, karmic removal, as well as he is a Kshetrapala. He protects the Siri. Kashi being a place of a Siri, the knowledge, the place of the abundance of the knowledge, he protects it. The being that Siri, he holds it. That is actually a Nārāyaṇa Swarupa of the Tattva, where exactly Kala Bhairava is being also called as Nārāyaṇa Bhairava. There is one particular Swarupa in Badrinath, which is called Adi Bhairava, Harihara protection field. It is in Uttarakhand. Especially here, Harihara is nothing but about the Vishnu as well as Shiva. Here is Vishnu as a Narayana, Bhairava as a protecting as the particular Kshetra. This particular Kshetra is called Harihara Kriya Tattva. This is how actually the Narayana Bhairava consciousness is active in that particular place. The third such kind of information which we can see from the Tantra lore is Unmata Bhairava. It is in Kathmandu. Okay, it is actually Unmata Bhairava in Kathmandu, especially the Kathmandu, what we call it as a Darbar, Bhairava's Darbar, the Nepal historic, the Tantra stream, Bhairava Swarupa, which you have seen it. Even that is also called one of the Swarupa of it. It is a protection of the kingdoms. Even all the kings used to go to him and ask his divine support to get him. They used to even ask the prosperity, make sure that whatever they hold that energy. That is the reason Bhairava is not only going to give you a Siri, he is going to hold the Siri. He is going to protect the kingdom. He is going to protect the rulers. He is going to sustain the stability. That's where he is being called as an Rajya Rakshaka. Rajya Rakshaka is not like Kshetrapala. He is actually kingdom's protection. This particular Swarupa. And in Nārāyaṇa Tantra, exactly this is what actually is the fusion between the Shiva and the Lakshmi Swarupa, how exactly they are being connected. As I told you, Bhairava as well as the Lakshmi as a protection, how exactly this is connected. But one important truth is, Nārāyaṇa Bhairava temple in entire cosmos you will not be able to find. As I told you, especially in the Natha Sampradaya, Vishnu is being done Aradhana. You may be wondering why Vishnu as well as a Narayan, why Bhairava? This is what the hidden importance is all about. When it comes to the especially in the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava, in the Natha Sampradaya, here it is beautifully being shared very clearly that we do not have any kind of a connection when it comes to the temple perspective. But when it comes to the Natha Sampradaya, Nārāyaṇa Bhairava is being considered as a truth, because here Tattva is being considered as a primary, like a living principle, because whatever you learn, it is not only, as I told you, it is not only the money, it is about the knowledge. Even the knowledge comes as a Siri. When a guru gives any kind of information to the Shishya Parampara, it is made sure that actually he protects it. He makes sure that that knowledge is being transformed to the next lineage. That is also being protected by one particular Swarupa, that is Nārāyaṇa Bhairava. Here, particularly when it comes to the Natha, seeing Bhairava as a Adi Guru, he being a Kshetrapala, he being the inner consciousness, he is being done Aradhana in the both the Swarupa, Shiva Tattva as well as Vishnu Tattva. They never see a difference between Shiva as well as a Bhairava. Shaiva, there comes from a Shaiva perspective, but Narayana Aradhana has been done. Even it is also said, especially in a Gorakhnath Pita, maybe I don't know how many of you will agree with me on this, connecting to this particular energy, especially in a Gorakhnath Pita, in Gorakhnatha temple, here Bhairava is not worshipped as a destruction, he is guarded as a yogis, he is protected for the lineages, he is sustaining for the tapas, he is a silent watcher is what actually he is being told. And here the protection The quality of a stability comes only from the fusion of the Narayana, is what is being said. Guru Goraka protects before the danger even appears. This is what actually everyone knows. That unseen protection, what it is Nārāyaṇa Bhairava Tattva. Even in Kadri Manjunatha, especially in the down to the south, there is one particular temple, especially in the Mangalore, called as an Kadri Manjunatha. It is being considered as a combination of a Harihara, union of the Natha Sampradaya. You may be wondering, Natha Sampradaya only in the north? No, even in the Kadri, it is also connected to the Natha Sampradaya. Kadri Manjunatha is the oldest Natha association center, because here it is very specially connected, like Vishnu, Shiva and the Natha. The yogic tradition is being connected. Vishnu, he is being Aradhana is being done as Lokeshwara, Manjunatha. He is being done the Aradhana of the, and all this getting merged. This particular Swarupa is called Harihara Aikya, the union of Shiva and Narayana. And exactly what the Aradhana or the Puja Vidhana has been done. Here, Bhairava and Narayana is not separate. It is one particular consciousness. And when I'm not trying to tell more from a Natha Sampradaya perspective, but I'm trying to tell you how exactly these are connected. Even Himalaya Natha, Dhunis, or even the Aghoris, it is also connected. Dhuni fire, whatever it is called. It is not about only the Trishula and the Bhairava mantra or inner tapas what you do. It is invocation of a Bhairava. It actually protects, and it protects the sadhakas. This is how the Himalayan Dhuni, Natha Dhuni is being considered. Maybe I will not try to disclose more about that particular Natha Sampradaya information, because in Natha Sampradaya, Nārāyaṇa Bhairava Swarupa is one of the Aradhana which has been done. Shaiva path transformation, Vishnu path preservation, but Natha path together, what we call it as Bhairava himself becomes Narayana here. Maybe in this particular Swarupa of the Bhairava is very rarely or very less information which is available in today's Aradhana of the Bhairava. Just imagine this. Before even drawing the world, even before becoming a silent, once you need to really understand what exactly the Bhairava is all about, what the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava Swarupa is all about. Nārāyaṇa Bhairava is not about giver of the money, not the promises of the miracles, but nothing far greater than that is who guardians that of your destiny, who protects your fortune. The Tantra of the prosperity that never leaves you is what is written or hidden in the gems of this particular Tantra lore. Here, Bhairava Aradhana is being done in a different Swarupas. When it comes to the Nārāyaṇa Bhairava, there is a different Tantra, there is a different Yantra which is being activated, a particular Aradhana Paddhati is being done, a particular activation is being done. But here, Nārāyaṇa Bhairava is Aradhana being done to protect your Siri. It is being done to protect your knowledge. It is done to protect your nourishment. It is done to protect your victory. It is done to protect your royal power. Royal power doesn't only comes from the royal family. No, every human beings are royal. The life they live, they connect, they experience is a royal. And all these things can be beholded by one particular Swarupa, Nārāyaṇa Bhairava. As I told you, many kings have become beggars, many merchants have become bankrupted, but they did not know how exactly to hold this, and this was the missing element which was always been written in the secrets of the Tantra. And that's where actually Bhairava in the Nārāyaṇa Swarupa is able to bless us and make us very clear how exactly the life can be changed when the Aradhana of the Bhairava is being done. And I don't want to again repeat the same. Bhairava sadhana is not only going to be a transformation for your life, it is going to change your life as what you are. Only by doing a Aradhana of the Bhairava, you will try to experience what exactly need and meant to be in this particular life, and what is really importance which is making you to experience this life. And that can only happen when Bhairava steps into one's life. Maybe with this note, I will try to conclude this episode, because when it comes to the Natha Sampradaya, maybe actually I have given a very few connecting information, but again, maybe once you connect this information into the dots, you will be able to understand there are many short informations when it comes to this particular Swarupa. Bhairava is not different from any of the other tattvas. Bhairava is a Sampurna. Sarvam Bhairava Swarupam. Maybe with this note, we'll take a conclude. Om Kalakalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tanno Kala Bhairava Prachodayat. Om Hingule Paramahingule Amritarupini Tanushakti Manashve Shri Hingulaya Namaha. Om Kamakya Varade Devi Neelaparvatavasini Tvam Devi Jagatam Matram Yoni Mudre Namostute.